Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 6, 2022 regular school board meeting. Can we please stand for the pledge to the flag? Sorry. Mr. Vice Chair, will you lead us?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Weisrecht to give his superintendent's report.
Great, thank you very much. So good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'd just like to start off by just saying what a great start to the school year it was today. I got a chance to check out all of our buildings. I saw lots of smiling faces, staff and students. Just a lot of enthusiasm to be there. Parents dropping kids off, had a chance to have a few conversations. I think everyone's just really excited to start the school year under more typical circumstances. So, and just, again, can't match that enthusiasm. So just grateful to everyone who helped to make this happen. I know we talked a little bit about this at our last board meeting, but just want to once again extend my sincere thanks to all the folks in our Buildings and Grounds Department, all the folks, all of our administrators, our teachers, our clerical staff, our nurses, everyone that made sure that the school district was able to get off and started in a good way. So the other thing I just wanted to take a moment to address is the transportation department, some of the issues that we had last week. So I know we did send out some communications, but I just wanted to go ahead. I'll start with kind of the end in mind here. In hindsight, we should have sent those communications out probably at least a couple of days earlier than we had. So I don't think that's any secret. I've spoken to some people today. I'm hearing that some people have gotten their notices today in the mail, which is too late, obviously. Not everybody had shaken his head.
Yeah, we didn't get ours yet.
Yeah, so we did get some feedback, but ultimately they just didn't get there in the time they had to. So, we did. This is typically we sent them out at about the same time frame as usual, but that's on us. We need to make sure that we send them out in a timely manner. So I am very appreciative, first of all, of folks just keeping in communication with us, letting us know that we weren't getting them. Ultimately, our transportation department, did, as you're aware, came in on yesterday and answered telephone calls. I do want to give just a special thanks to the IT department. A few people in particular, Scott Firkins, Pat Tronalone, and Michelle Goitia. They worked. And I'll cut to the end as far as what we're looking at for next year, but we have two different systems. We have one system that does all the routing for us, and we put all of our transportation information in, and then we have another system that's our student information management system, which is PowerSchool. That's where the parent portal comes from. Those two systems don't talk to each other. So in speaking with our IT department, they found a way, working really throughout the course of the weekend, to kind of merge the two systems together so that we could eventually populate this information, the student routing information, into PowerSchool, into the parent portal. So that was a communication that went out on Sunday. Obviously very excited that we were able to provide that information digitally to our families. I know some people had difficulty in accessing if they hadn't used the system before, the password wasn't working, but I think it captured a large swath of our families and did give them the information that they needed for routing. And then honestly, I know Linda O'Grady, our Director of Transportation, was working. She was in the office on Sunday, returning emails and phone calls, and then on Monday, yesterday, I was over there and they had some of our clerical staff. So Linda was over there. She's the Director of Transportation, but so was Cindy Vlaeff, Lisa Grimmer, Mary Ann Cook, and then Maura Lillis Blonsky, who's actually clerk over at West Senior, but is very familiar with the transportation department. And Mary Ann Cook just started literally on Friday with the transportation department. So they answered phone calls. Our IT department set up what they call GoPacks, a GoPack of phones, which basically it's a group of 5 phones that they have that doesn't give people a busy signal. If they call, it puts them into a queue. And then that way they could answer the phones. It got a little busier at some times, but it was steady, but pretty manageable, as they would even have some conversations with some of the folks. I don't think anybody was waiting on hold for any length of time to get their information. So moving forward, we actually did purchase a new program. I think we presented on it last year a little bit. I think I forwarded the timeline earlier of when we started actually kind of integrating it with our system, which was in May. It's going to take several months for it to fully be integrated within our system. I'll probably get a little out of my depth if I start speaking too much to the tech side of it, but ultimately our plan for the coming for next school year is not to send out postcards, but just to have this information sent digitally to our families. This system does communicate directly with PowerSchool and the parent portal, so ultimately we'd be able to populate in a timely manner student routing information in there. So does that make sense?
I heard a few other places in the state use postcards and they did not get them in time either. So we were not alone.
Yeah, yeah.
By using snail mail.
Yeah, I think that's just, we have the technology, we should use it, and I feel badly that it caused any level of stress or anxiety for our families. That's not what we want to start off the school year. So we did receive some feedback. I think people were pretty understanding and patient with us, but I appreciate you bearing with us. That's not the way we wanted anybody to start off the school year with that level of stress. So, does anybody have any questions about that?
I do. How long will Transversa take to be installed?
I don't have the exact answer
So
for
it
that.
says system install beginning May.
Yes.
But what is the final date that we can expect it, or approximate date that we can expect it?
I can find out from the company. I'd have to talk to the company themselves. What Linda O'Grady, our Director of Transportation, told me is right now they're somehow incorporating all the maps of the district, the street maps of the district. That's kind of the part of the process they're in right now. Then I think it goes into the student information portion of it. But I'll find that out. I'll get a better estimate for you as far as when they can expect it fully integrated. What I can say with confidence is that next year, that'll be our system. That's going to be our it'll be in place in time so that will be the only system that we're using. We're not going to use the current system that we have. It's going to be 100% Transversa.
So is this a subscription program? Like, do we subscribe to it every year?
No, I don't know the length of time for our contract with them. So we've been with the current program for quite some time now, is my understanding. I don't know. Hey, Will, do you have any idea as to how long we signed a contract with Transversa for?
We bought the program, so
Oh, okay. Okay.
there's annual maintenance fees that we pay for the program is ours.
Okay. So
Thank
just
you.
for the good of everybody watching, we purchased the program, it's ours, there's annual maintenance fees, and I'm sure that goes along with any updates that they would have, they would push out as well. So, and I'll just add too, Linda O'Grady also had experience with this company, a good experience in her last district that she worked in, so that's one of the reasons she wanted us to explore this product, so. Any other questions, or? Okay. That's all I have for this evening.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vice Director. I'll have a brief report myself. I just wanted to welcome all of our students back to school today. I hope everybody had a pleasant day. I know we've heard good things from our kids, so we hope everybody had a great first day back to school. I want to thank all of our staff for their hard work in getting our school ready for today and for the school year. And I also just want to extend our gratitude to the technology department and busing for working together to find a solution for our students and putting that on Parent Portal. And I hope that helped. And I know that the system isn't perfect, but I believe we will have a good system in place for next year. I think that's it for me. Thank you. At this time, we have a presentation for our professional learning plan. So I'd like to welcome, I believe, Mrs. McCartan up to the podium to present to us.
Been a team effort.
Okay, and Mrs. Persico, apologize.
I promise I will keep these comments very, very brief for all of you. So this past summer, we have been working on updating, it was the professional development plan, but now the state calls it the professional learning plan. So I think all of you received a copy of this. Let me just make sure that I can. So it was a large committee. The committee members are listed here as a cross-section of people from all walks in the district. And we reviewed plans from across the area because there's nothing better than looking to see what everybody else is doing, to see what parts would work for us and what parts maybe we want to change. So we reviewed plans from all neighboring districts just to get an idea of some of the key pieces that they were using. And we pretty much basically blew up the plan and started from scratch. So this is a copy of that plan for you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But some of the updates and changes that you'll see are our committee looked at survey results from teachers and staff from across the district, and we created some focus areas, being health and wellness, social, emotional, and equitable education, culturally responsive education, data and differentiated instruction, technology, literacy. So we worked on incorporating those as part of our professional learning throughout the year. Opening days was an example of that, where people were able to take a variety of 1-hour workshops about different things. Culturally responsive education, Pat Bronscheitel was there, data and differentiated instruction, NWEA was there to talk with teachers about that. Some of the other things we focused on as part of the professional learning plan were CTLE credits. For those of us that have been around a long time, that may not be as big of a concern because our certification is a little different, but, and I'll get into this in one moment, we are hiring tons of brand new teachers whose certification is different. So CTLE credits become important for them. They need to have 100 CTLE credits. So that could be anything from courses that we offer through the Teachers Center, work that we do here in the district, workshops that they go to from BOCES or outside of the district. They have to gain 100 hours in order to maintain their certification. Every 5 years, they have to update their education and say that they have taken those credits. Mr. Bystract has to verify that those credits have been taken, and it's something that we need to keep track of. So that was a big part of our learning plan. We also made some major updates to the new Teacher Academy. This year, every brand new teacher, I think there were 57 at the end of the day that were hired, that were in my cafeteria for 3 days with me, so God bless all of those people. But they did get a copy of this book, Your First Year. We did a lot of work about talking about just starting the year. Many of our teachers, like I said, need those CTLE credits, but they also need a lot of support from us as a district to make sure they are on track and on target to do what they need to do. So this was a good start for them. And we also have talked about revamping the teacher peer mentoring program so that it's more robust and it aligns with what's happening at New Teacher Academy and the things they talked about here. And I promise I have one more slide, and this is just really what it looked like implementing all of these pieces that were part of this professional learning plan. So that is a picture. Those two first pictures are of my cafeteria. So new teachers not only got to spend time with me, but they also spent time with the directors talking about curriculum, talking about instruction. We went on a bus tour. We toured the entire district just so that they had an idea of where they were, where their school was in location to other schools. So I think it was very important for them to get an idea of what the entire West Seneca community looks like and how far reaching we are, that we go all the way from Lackawanna to Cheektowaga. So that was very enlightening. So that last picture is part of their bus stop here. And then just on the last 3 pictures are some of the learning that went on for all of our faculty and staff, whether you were a nurse, whether you were an aide, whether you were a teacher. There were workshops that were running. We also had Jimmy Cassis here, so he talked to us a lot about Culturize. For those, I know you were in the audience, and I think some of the things that resonated with his conversation was, and I should have taken and put that picture there, is he had a chair sitting on top of the stage, and he reminded people, like, are you doing what you promised that you were going to do when you interviewed with the district? And it really resonated with a lot of people. There was a teacher here in this building that went up, took a quick picture of it, and has it sitting on her desk. So that is all that I have. I appreciate you taking the time to just let me talk to you. Is there anything else?
No, I just wanted to commend Kim for her leadership on this work. We really have revamped the entire program to make it more robust, and it will also be a living, breathing document that we will update hyperlinks that are within the document as we reflect on every superintendent conference day and opportunity for professional development. We'll put surveys out to staff. There's one out right now. So when we have the district professional learning committee come together on October 11th, we will take a look at those results and really use that to drive any future forward professional learning that we do for this year. So really keeping it at the forefront and not something that we've done and it's in the past and it's over. We really want to work to spiral that within the year and onward. So thank you, Kim, for your leadership on that.
Thank you. Thank you for all of your support. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kim, I heard great things on both New Teacher Academy and on the opening day, so again, thank you as well.
Thanks.
Okay, at this time, we're going to move to the public comment section of our agenda. The public comment section is a time set aside for the community to speak directly to the Board of Education. Each speaker is given 3 minutes with a total allotted time to last no more than 30 minutes. When called, please step up to the podium and state your name and address. Please be respectful in your comments and do not divulge any personal or confidential information. If you'd like to be contacted, please leave your information with the district clerk. Is there anybody who would like to speak to the board? Okay.
Good evening, Lisa Bridenstine, 77 Tree Haven Road. We as a family walked into this building in 2005 as I entered the doors tonight, thinking about the first day of school. But tonight I'd really like to address the board and kind of go back in time a bit. In 2014, the Board of Education at that time created what was called the 21st Century Commission. This group of stakeholders was made up of teachers, administrators, both in the building and the district, CSEA members, parents, and community members. It was formed with the idea that we were to examine enrollment and the facilities. I was chosen to be one of the chair people of that committee along with Mr. Ed Bedient. We worked diligently as a group of concerned parents and staff members and community members. We gathered data. We came up with various plans. We held a community forum for our community to come together and ask questions and get informed. And finally, we presented the Board of Education at that time with 3 separate plans of what we felt was the best possible scenario for this district. That evening, the Board of Education voted to close Potters Road Elementary. That was not our plan. That was not one of our suggestions. Potters Road is now reopened. The reason that I'm bringing this back up this evening is I watched the last meeting and I heard the presentation that was given. It wasn't transparent. It certainly didn't have all the stakeholders on it. And my question is, have we learned nothing? I want to remind you, as one of those people who was a stakeholder on that commission, we worked really hard. We have a lot of work that we need to do. And at that time, we knew back in 2014 that equity of students in buildings was not there, that it needed to be changed, that we needed to make changes in our facilities. And I give you kudos because I know you've been working really hard on the facilities and getting things up and running. The redistricting word is a tough one for all of us as parents, as community members. It's a tough word to say, but we also want things that are equitable for all of our students. We want things to be happening on the west side and the east side to come together. And as I come to you tonight, I ask you to please consider the next step that you move into with that you're going to make sure that it is transparent and that you make sure that all of the stakeholders are involved in that process. Going forward, that's what we need to have happen. And I have confidence in the people around this table at this particular time that you are going to be good listeners and make good decisions. The last time we didn't have that. And I look at the people on this board tonight, and I know that you're going to make the right decisions, whether they're hard decisions, whether they're unpopular decisions. You're going to make the best decisions for the children and the families and this community. And I thank you because I know being in those seats is really difficult and thinking about that, but I ask as you move forward that you remember that it needs to be a transparent process and that we need to have all the stakeholders present.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board at this time? No? Okay, thank you. We're going to move on now. We have a recess plan, but I was hoping to skip it. Okay. All right, we're on number 5. 1 second as I re-log in. Okay, at this time, we're going to try the consent agenda for this meeting. It will include, so the consent agenda, there's a little section underneath it. It reads, all items in the consent agenda will include all personnel and reports. Please note that agenda items may still be pulled for a separate vote and/or for discussion. So we've done this in the past where we've combined, let's vote on 5A through 6C. What we'll do with the consent agenda is we will combine items 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that will be all personnel, and all of the reports. What else did I skip? Yep. I think that's it. So, is that okay with everyone? I would need a motion and a second, and then discussion.
I'd like to
Actually,
make-
go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda 6 through 9. Did I get it right?
Yes.
6 through 9?
Okay, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. And there's no discussion on a consent agenda, so we just vote.
Can I get
Why isn't there?
a, can I, oh.
No discussion?
There's no discussion on a consent agenda. We
All
just
right,
motion
what do you do
second.
about when you're either eliminating or creating?
That can be combined in the consent agenda, and
Is that according to
it is.
the rules of Albany?
It is. I believe we've checked and double-checked and
double-checked
triple-checked.
I know, well,
Yeah.
I just am saying,
Yeah.
because when you have something that you eliminate, or when you create a new position especially,
Yes,
that always had to be worded separately?
right. I believe under this, it is okay to create and eliminate positions.
It's been our practice, and Jan, I thought the same thing too, but we did research this. I'm looking at Nicole right now,
Yeah.
but we did research this. And other districts also operate in a similar way. That I'm right there with you, Jan. I didn't realize it initially either. I always thought anytime you created something, it had to be separate, but
Okay,
Yeah.
I just have one more question. Did you
Sure.
run it before an attorney?
No, I did not, but I ran it before NISBA. I did reach out to Barry Entwistle from NISBA and speak to him about it,
Okay,
yes.
I just want to make sure,
Yeah.
because when it's creating a new position, it's adding more finances and so forth.
Right.
And
But
I think
if-
we can ask questions before the meeting to say, I'd like more discussion on this, and then that can be pulled off the consent agenda.
Right, I know
So it
that.
would have to be done before the meeting.
I know that, I just thought it was procedurally correct to do those separately.
Yes.
Because of the finances. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can try it out if, people are, if the board is not comfortable with it, we can go back to our,
Well, no, I'm comfortable if it's legal.
yeah. It is legal as far as I know. And I
just-
feel like I've checked.
I just wanted a point of clarification, not necessarily, and we're not supposed to discuss it.
Right.
Is there a way, when we have the consent agenda option, do we list in there what we're looking at to be part of consent agenda? Just because when I first look at this, I can't tell.
I know.
Is there a place for us to, I just want to make sure, so we're under consent agenda, is there a spot in the notes that say, like, we're planning on 6 through 9 or something? Can we notate that?
We can notate that next time. Yeah. It's okay,
Oh, did I just literally not read it? I'm sorry. Where am I missing it?
no, actually, I'm going to go back myself and see.
Under 5A, that is all items in the consent agenda, which include all personnel reports.
Right, so it
Okay.
doesn't list the numbers.
Okay,
It
so-
just,
Change, the
Right.
numbers change.
Got it, I understand.
Category.
Okay, I understand then. Yeah, I'm confident enough I can figure that part out.
Okay.
So
then.
I know what you're saying, though,
Yeah.
Ed. You're asking for specific numbers.
Like 6 through 9, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure
Right.
because I was looking at this, I'm like, oh, we're doing consent agenda, I was excited. Then I'm like, well, are we?
well, that's
So-
why I said it. I
Okay.
said it verbally.
Yeah,
just
no,
because,
I-
so we can get used to this.
Just want to
All
work
right.
through it, because
Okay,
I love
sure.
this idea.
Okay.
And as a point of clarification, even at this point, in this juncture, if there was something we wanted pulled out of consent, I could pull something out of consent.
Right, without a
and we would-
second, too. You
correct.
just pull it out, right. and-
Right.
Yep.
So,
But
Okay.
that has to be done ahead of time.
it
can
should
be
be done
done.
ahead of time. I'm just saying that if it's not like I missed my window right here. I have the opportunity to do that.
Right.
You can still
Yes.
pull at a public meeting.
You can still pull it right on the, at the
Yeah.
table. You can. All right, are we ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, passes 6-7-0, sorry. Okay, now we are on new business, which is item number 10. And I was hoping to vote on all of 10, but I am willing to make any adjustments. But I was hoping to vote 10A through 10F.
I'll make a motion to accept 10A through 10F.
Okay?
I'll second.
All right, Jody, and Ed. Any discussion?
The only discussion I want to have is I'm cool to see some trips on there and some other positive things with our police and our district.
Yes.
I have one question,
Sure.
comment in terms of the combining of teams. I know this is a 1 year at a time type situation. And I know that our athletic director is working to increase the participation in all sports, but I think it's telling that we see more and more of this being necessary, that we have more teams that are being combined. I think it's telling. I think that's something that needs to be looked at very, very closely, where our population may be in decline in certain areas. It's not to the degree, and we should be finding more opportunities, not less opportunities, for students on both sides of town to be representing their schools. So I hope to see that trend change quickly.
Thank you.
I know Marissa's not here. I bumped into the coach somewhere yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was telling me that there was just 2 kids from East on the cross-country team. I'm assuming we have some sort of efforts to re-energize the East Side
Yes.
somehow. With,
Yeah.
like, was it majorly declining over the years, or was there just some sort of drop?
Recently, we've had a lot, as to Vince's point, we've had a lot more teams combined. I will say that in speaking with Marissa and some colleagues in, around the area, there's just been a decline in participation in athletics in general. I'm not saying massive, but I'm saying it's definitely not necessarily unique to West Seneca. In terms of your question about what are we doing to try to get kids energized and wanting to be there, I mean, to some degree, that's where you build it through your coaches. You get your coaches to get people excited. You do clinics over the summer and things like that, trying to publicize and just getting kids excited about being out there again. So I don't think there's any one magic thing. I would wholeheartedly agree, though. The happiest, most successful kids are the ones that are connected to something in the school, in addition to the academic side of the house. We need to get them engaged, whether it's a club, whether it's sports or whatever. So
Yeah, I know, I think I told you guys about my son who participated. I think it was called Boys on the Run.
Yeah.
There's like a Girls on the Run.
Boys on the Right Track, Girls
Oh,
on the
yeah,
Run.
something like
Yep.
that, yeah. And it was, there was probably, if I'm not wrong, like 15 kids from just 3rd grade Winchester that participated. And when we went to the main event, it had to be several hundred. And then I know there used to be the Gary Geyser Run. My kids aren't at that age. Do we still do that? I know it's not cross-country per se, but it's getting
But it
kids.
gets kids running.
No, those are excellent feeder programs.
Yeah, those are feeder programs for the cross-country.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
I mean, it seems like we're doing, from what I understand, there's going to be more of those options coming up, not just at like Winchester, but some of the other schools.
You want to build those grassroots sort of efforts. I don't think it's too early to start in the elementaries, to your point.
Yeah.
Get kids excited, get them there after school. And we've had some successful, versions of that. I know at West Middle we had Girls on the Run for a while, and then they started Boys on the Right Track, just like you said.
Yeah, and I think the girls' one I heard was being offered this year somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool,
So,
that's all. I just appreciate it, and I really hope that we can get more than
I-
a couple kids interested.
Yeah. We definitely, that absolutely is a goal, to get kids more excited, more kids active, in extracurricular athletics, but also in clubs. Just we want to value being at school after the school day's over. So.
I think Jan has something to ask.
Oh, sorry.
I just have a question on F.
Yes,
Okay, because you said throughout,
I
correct?
did.
You did. What is it costing, and this is just for the public who might be here, what is it costing us and what actually is it?
Okay,
I know what it is, but I don't, it'd be nice if we let people know.
sure. Mr. Weistra?
Sure. So that's the proposal. So at PLC, this is I guess a scaled back version. of what we originally discussed with PLC. There's no strategic planning involved per se. This is them helping us to facilitate the redistricting process. So it involves some community forums, bringing stakeholders together, partnering with, for instance, we would use like Elena to help us to get some surveys out to solicit feedback from families. Really, it's just for the redistricting process. So you're just going to mention the cost, and I'm happy to discuss it more. I don't have the proposal in front of me right now, Jan, but
How much is it? You don't know?
after BOCE's aid, I want to say it is $7,000. Forgive me, it's either $7,000 or
These those two women that
$9,000.
were here at that time and, went through,
Yes.
things that they were doing and so forth. It was kind of a, little, the two of them together, they were presenting this. Yeah, okay. And it's sort of similar to what our administrative staff could do.
I think my personal opinion, which just is that the benefit of having facilitators, it helps to kind of keep the process moving a little bit. So these are people that are experienced.
We like to tell them when there's meetings and things like that.
It's not just tell them when there's need, it's help to facilitate. I mean, they have experience in doing this in other districts as well. So the bottom line is, I think, to have somebody to help us keep on track. I think we have very talented, not just administrators, but also, other individuals from across the district that are going to be very active participants in this and really going to do the work. When you have a facilitator in my experience, it's somebody that helps to keep you on point, keep you out of rabbit holes.
So it'd be like just reminding them when a meeting is and so forth, or taking a little survey or something like that?
I don't think anything about it would be little. I mean, it's not just about reminding. I think that we would be the ones, honestly, that would be communicating. So these folks would help to facilitate.
It's an outside organization doing some of the
Correct.
work that we would be doing here. I'll be voting negative on that one.
Okay.
And I did find the costs, and it is $9,825.
Is that before or after aid?
That's
That's after
After
8.
aid? Okay.
I think we're very capable people within our administrative ranks that could do that job.
Yeah, and I will, again, under discussion here, the reason I support this is these people are going to use all of our resources to get this done. They're going to use our administrators, they're going to use our community, they're going to use those people. They're just, my understanding of it is they're going to be the people getting, I don't want to say collecting the data, but they're going to be running the meeting or running the thing, but everyone here locally will be the ones giving the data.
Doing the work.
And then listening to the data, doing the physical.
Correct.
That, again, we go back to when Lisa and I were on the 21st Century Committee, not only were we trying to be part of that, but we were also trying to run it and create it, and that did take up a lot of our time. It would have been nice to have someone kind of coordinating that while we were able to.
They just have experiences across different districts, so they've run into some of the, obstacles or pitfalls and things like that. So, having worked in a variety of different districts.
They can keep people like me from shooting way off track and telling stories.
I don't know, that's a big job.
Jan, I concur with some of your concerns, and I've thought about this over the course of weeks when these proposals have been out there. I think where I landed and why will vote in favor of bringing in this group is that this is a process that needs to be expedited. As Ms. Bridenstine brought to our attention, this is an incredibly important moment for this district, and it's going to have an impact for years to come. And it needs to be done correctly, and it needs to be done efficiently, and it needs to be done with a level of expertise that I think is
We have a
important.
superintendent, and we have 3 assistant superintendents that are all people to people. And I personally think that we have an administration group that could do this. Why are we spending money to an outside group to come in to do what our administration should be doing? And that's my thought. Period.
I think it's a fair and objective comment and question.
I mean,
Yeah,
we have 3 assistant
you know, I'm,
superintendents, and they're fine people.
I
They're
am,
smart people.
Sometimes it's good to get the perspective of somebody outside the district, to get the right stakeholders together, to get the right forum, to organize it all. And when we've got 3 assistant superintendents that have other jobs to do, to throw this on them, I think it's worth the $9,000. That's my opinion.
Anyone else?
Everybody's got their own opinion.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I think for me, Jan, and I hear everything you're saying, and I've been around as long as Lisa, and I've watched schools get closed in the manner that they've been closed. And I feel that things haven't been done the right way. And if they were to be done the right way, they would have been done by now. So it's my personal opinion that we do need someone independent to come in here and access all of the smart, fine people who understand how our schools work, what is needed from all of the different buildings, and someone who's really going to come in and listen to all stakeholders. So that's what's really important to me. I think when they presented, I was very impressed with, I asked a specific question, will you use our people? And they said yes, that's what the process was all about. So for me, that's what's really important right now. And this is a really, really important step. And I hear everything you're saying, Jan. I do.
This is board, the board's heavily involved in this. Like, this isn't where you're just gonna go off in the room with these people and then we're gonna hear from you in 9 months.
Absolutely not, no. Yeah, the board would be very involved in this,
Yeah,
correct.
that's what I'm kind of looking forward to, having them, administrators, the board, the community, but they're not gonna decide anything.
No,
They're just gonna keep us focused on the mission.
correct.
I guess my question in regards to this is I've been in favor of this all along. So what I would like to know from my fellow board members, what changed your tune since you voted no on this 2 months ago?
This is specifically for redistricting. Before, there was more involved.
I believe it was a strategic plan, and part of it was, a small portion of it may have been redistricting.
They reduced the scope of the work. They did do that.
Yeah, and I could say to that, Jody, that my opinion on this topic has changed in the past 2 weeks. After listening to this presentation here.
Oh, yeah.
Listening to our community, we need somebody from the outside to come in and help us get things in order so that then the administrators and we can make the right decisions based on the right information.
I'll tell you what made me, I love this idea to begin with, but I really liked when we brought in our facilitator to help us with the board thing we did. I loved it.
The retreat.
I loved having the retreat, yeah, I'm sorry, I was trying to think of the right word.
Okay.
But I really loved having the person in the room, keeping us on track.
As I look at my watch.
I'll shut up. But yeah, I mean, so again, even though I support it, like having that facilitator, it made me absolutely think it's something.
But you're not just talking about keeping us on track, so I want to be clear here. We're talking about,
Everybody.
we're talking about mining for information through multiple groups throughout the community who have different views on things, and collecting that information and bringing back real data. And that should be the only thing that we're basing our decisions upon. Not our feelings, not our loyalties, not our school colors. We should be making it objectively on the information that they're going to help unearth, and that we can do what's right for the next 20, 25 years. When we make that decision, that's where it should be looking at, that far out.
Okay, I think at this time we're ready to take our votes, place our votes, I mean. All right, everyone, we've had a motion, we've had a second, right? Correct? Okay.
I think it's an insult to our administration, personally,
Okay.
feeling that they can't do the job. So anyway,
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
opposed.
Okay, passes 6-1. All right, at this time, we can move on to Board of Ed discussion, which we've had quite a bit of. Would anyone else like to share anything else that they'd like to talk about? Okay, then. I think we can adjourn now. So we will stop the live streaming, and our board meeting will be adjourned. And thank you all for coming to our regular board meeting. And I think we're done with that part. We can take a 5-minute recess now for our board, and then we will open up a work session. Okay?
Thank you so much.
So, yeah, thank you so much for coming, and thank you for speaking. Oh, I need a motion, sorry. Was jumping the gun. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Ed, motion?
I will second it.
Diane will second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, opposed? Nope. All right, thank you.